So nice to see you face to face, physically.
Yes,
Not in the physical, but at least in the video.
yes, yes, yes. Following you on LinkedIn was really an amazing experience. I have gone through your posts today. Great, great. You have a lot of articles. I'm not sure whether will have enough time to cover all of them, but I made sure that I read through the one that I was most interested in about the water management. Yes, I loved this experience
Yeah,
of reading it. Yes.
yeah, yeah. This maybe we can talk this later, but just small glimpse you can. Why I'm writing now? Actually, the study and technology which I learned in my time are not going to work in future because
Mm.
of this climate change.
Because
It's a
those technologies
that is
were
why this
created in the other time, right?
yeah
For other
yeah
problems.
because yeah the technology what we were doing was stationary technology means hydrology was based on the past data analysis and we were forecasting.
Yeah.
But this is not working now because you can see 100 years period flood is coming just very short period. Anytime we repeating too much. So what is happening this, right?
Yes.
This is all happening because of climate change. So that's why it is a big surprise, not only you or me, to the whole global community.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yes.
So there has been a lot of research after 2023, and I am in somehow in contact with all these researches, and I'm taking the advantage of that and publishing some
Nice.
relevant reports so that whole world, our time is finishing. The young generation like you can benefit.
Yes, amazing.
Yeah.
Thank you for your work. Thank you for your work. And in fact, it's a great advice to make to always constantly engage in research in order to keep your own knowledge sharp of the current technologies, of the current trends that are in the world of technology and research. It's a great advice basically for everyone, especially we, the young. Yes,
Yeah.
amazing. So then let's start our podcast. I think it's already started, like we started discussing. But let me introduce you because your experience is worthy to be known right from the beginning of this podcast. So, everyone, our dear listeners, our live listeners, and listeners on YouTube. So, welcome today our dear guest, Dr. Dinesh Shrestha. And Dr. Dinesh is an international expert in construction and water management and water sectors. He has experience of over 35 plus years, and he has been consulting such big organizations as World Bank and Food and Agriculture Organization. And I think that today's podcast will be a great opportunity to get at least a drop of that 35 plus year experience. So we're going to use productively every minute of this podcast, and hopefully we will be able to get answers to all of our questions. And since these questions were basically created by me, but you, our listeners, our live listeners, might have some of the questions that you would want to personally ask from Dr. Dinesh. In that case, you're welcome to leave those questions in the comment section of the last post in this channel, and hopefully by the end of this podcast, in the last 15 minutes, you will have a chance to hear the answers to your questions right from Dr. Dinesh. Great. So let's start then. I have been always interested in international people doing research about the water problems of Uzbekistan. I do understand when we citizens of Uzbekistan are interested in in problems of our country, but it was always interesting to me what is that driver, what is that motivation behind other people from other countries to come to Uzbekistan to engage with our problems and try to find solutions to problems of Central Asia. And in your experience, what was that motivation behind your desire to learn more about this water situation of Uzbekistan? And why Uzbekistan? There are so many countries having water issues right now. Why exactly this place?
Okay. So thank you for this question. Yeah, it's really interesting when you say why Uzbekistan. Then I have to go back uh, how many years? In 2008, I was especially invited uh, to replace the team leader in World that time it was a World Bank funded in South Karakal, Pakistan. It was a very big project funded by World Bank, and I was especially invited there because the project was failing. Uh, it had already passed 2.5 years. There was no progress. There were 3 international contracts. Progress was from 0 to 15% only. So it was a big problem. So I was invited. Mm. So it was actually the project was trying to refill oral actually because oral sea was drying.
Yes.
There was water. In one time, it was such a huge water reservoir.
Yeah.
Two rivers, Sirdaria and Amudarya, they were meeting there, and all the rivers disappearing in the Aral Sea. It used to be a big kind of a proverb, a river disappearing nowhere. Means a big river like Amudarya and Siddharya, you cannot find them after meeting in Aral Sea. But that proverb was going to be false because there was no Aral Sea. It was shrunk too much. So this project came, and I was part of that project. We completed that, and in by the end of 2009, we already connected our this drainage system to Aral Sea. So Aral Sea started getting water. But anyway, that water was coming from the drains only. So maximum discharge was around 25 cubics. So it was not enough to cover whole Aral Sea. Aral Sea is a very big area, right?
Yes.
But anyway, it was a big attempt.
Was it
So that's the
to
reason.
fill the North Aralsi, North Small Aralsi, or the big South one?
We connected, if you see, there is one river which is dry, Zanadaria coming from Kazakhstan. That dry river, we built around how many kilometers? 100 kilometer. We dug big drainage in the 3 districts of Karakal, Pakistan. And then 200 kilometers through the desert, and we meet there in Zanadaria River, which is dry river, and that river going to connect with Aral Sea. So you can see it was going to connect on the southern part of the Uzbekistan.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
because northern part is
Already
Kazakhstan.
Yes.
Yeah. So yeah, we were doing like that. we completed that project. So that is how we can see, you can say how I got involved in Uzbekistan. Why Uzbekistan when you are talking?
Yeah.
But actually, I have been working not only in Uzbekistan, Tajikistan, Kazakhstan,
Mm.
and mostly in India. I have worked since then. So, but the thing is, Uzbekistan has remained my priority. The reason is I have not only worked in that Karagal, Pakistan, I have worked in Fargana Valley project also, first stage, second stage, and I have given recently also I have provided services to your Ministry of Investment, Ministry of Finance in water projects.
Oh,
Uh, yeah. So this is why I'm talking about Uzbekistan. The reason actually this article, actually I published this article in 2024. I wrote for ICID.
mm.
Uh, this 24, there was ICID 14th, they had organized. That time I was working in Tajikistan, but I was working in Uzbekistan also together. Uh, so that article was accepted by the ICID, but unfortunately, I couldn't attend that. There was some personal
I
problem.
see. I see. So
So, yeah.
I'm interested in another thing that I'm interested is you have this extensive experience of working on, as far as I understood, civil projects, right? Civil construction projects in the water sector in Uzbekistan and other countries of Central Asia. I'm interested in your experience. Have you seen a lot? Have you seen a lot of Uzbek experts working on those construction projects? Because up to my experience, usually when I hear about big civil projects currently, it's always some international organizations, international engineering companies coming to Uzbekistan and building it for us, but not some national engineering firms or engineering companies, if they even exist, doing that. And to me, and maybe to other young people, it gives such impression as though Uzbekistan's engineering capacity is going increasingly below, that we started to rely on more on international engineering experience rather than our own. Is it true, or is it just something is it just our first impression of the moment in Uzbekistan? What would be your answer?
Hmm. Thank you for this question. Actually, uh, what I would say, this is not correct to say engineering capacity or capability of Uzbek company or Uzbek people down, nothing like that. Actually, I told you when I came in 2008, I found, yes, that time there were two uh, Uzbek forms, but they were, I think that time it was government form. Because Uzbekistan was just those days trying to do something in big projects like that. I told you it is a DWIC project, a drainage. Uh, it was what is the name? DWIP, Drainage, Irrigation and Wetland Improvement Project. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it was a big project, and it was first time one Uzbek engineering firm was involved. Two engineering firms were involved actually.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, they were doing good job in Uzbekistan before also, but when it came to the international work uh, standard, they were confused. They were not aware of these things, and that's the reason they were not able to uh, do the works as expected, right? So actually, there was one Chinese company also involved, but unfortunately, those Chinese people who were present there, they were very young. They didn't have any experience, so that's why they were not able to do. So why I'm talking this here, because I have to, because I was threatened by the World Bank people that if we don't improve within, I was given only 6 months.
Oh my goodness.
Thank you. Yeah,
For that
if
project?
I do, then they were going to blacklist all international people, company, everybody. It was a big challenge. So I had to train myself to all the contractors, to all the experts, whether it is government or contractors or consultancy staff also. So it was a big challenge. We did day and night, we worked, we demonstrated. My training was verbally plus mostly in the field itself, by doing the work, by showing the work. Okay, so this is how we improve and we finish the project on time.
How about the
That was
current
a
situation?
different. So yeah, coming back to your question, is Uzbekistan capacity decreasing? It is nothing like that. It is increasing. The reason is uh, you had some your standards. Your experts are good at certain parts, which is really very good. Even if we compare to international forum, okay, they are very good. I have worked with them. They are still my friends. Some are Tashkent Institute. They are professors. They already retired also. Many people are in touch. They are very good. But having said that, uh, when it comes to international working with the World Bank, ADB, or EU, they always prefer people from international. If this is international bidding, then they prefer international, right? If if some people, the reason why Uzbek people are not what you are saying, the main reason is not because they don't have capacity. It is mainly because they don't have international experience. You understand this point? You may have very good experience, but if you don't have international experience, then you cannot comply with the TOR requirement. You understand? Like somebody is asking team leader with 10 years international experience, but you may have a very good engineer or professor from your country who has maybe 20 years experience. Yes. But when it comes international, he doesn't have any experience. Yeah. So he cannot comply with that. It is because of that reason it is becoming like this. This is the right answer to your question, actually. That's what it is happening. I gave you one example, but it applies to all the other experts also.
I see. But
Yeah.
for example, currently there are projects of Usutaminot. So Usutaminot, that organization that provides drinking water and wastewater treatment services. And what I noticed is that, for example, they are building a big wastewater treatment plant in Tashkent, and it's a government's project, but it's done by the Arabic engineering firm. Yes, and then they are building another water treatment plant in Kashkadarya region, for example, and it's being done by engineers from Korea. And I followed them.
Disappearing. Can you? There is
Yes.
no voice.
Yes. I'm sorry for that. So where did I stop? Dr. Dinesh, where did I stop? Can you please remind me? Is it in Tashkent or in Kashkadarya? Was I able to talking? Dr. Dinesh? What the hell? Yeah, I'm sorry for that problem. Yes, so what I was talking of currently I see projects, both construction of wastewater treatment plant in Tashkent and construction of water treatment plant, for example, in Kashkadaria region. But and these are governmental projects, for example, but they're being done by international engineering firms, and this was giving me impression like I know that Usutaminot also has its own engineers, but why are they relying on international ones? Why they are not building themselves, for example? So this was quite interesting to me.
Yeah, yeah. Got your point. Um, Actually, I would like to, in the beginning, when I started, do you remember what I told you? That the technology has so much changed now. The course, the technology which I studied 35, 40 years before is not working nowadays. It's becoming old. Technology has improved.
Yes.
As far as the weather and climate change is concerned, that is different part. But even for the infrastructure technology or water measurement or water reservoir, how it should be done, means water accounting, to all kind of latest technology, modern technology, which should be included in the design plus construction implementation, is becoming new thing for the most of the old people, old our generation, right?
Yes.
That is the reason. That is the reason. Yes. Though actually, when you talk companies, these companies maybe in their own country, maybe in not so much good shape, but they are also hiring the top brains from the international, in the market, and they are bringing here to work. So that's why you should not feel ashamed. Oh, why my country is behind? It is nothing like that. It is not only your country. All most of the big countries, if you go, even in USA, in some project, they are hiding other big brands. Okay, so it doesn't mean that USA doesn't have. Even in Europe, even in Australia, if you go in some project, they are hiring some top brains. Yeah, so it doesn't that don't have they are behind their technology. It is nothing like that. Sometime when we start or when we do some innovative works, we need people who are champion of innovation. Yeah, they are champion already. We cannot give hand over those works to somebody who has never done any work. Then he will make the project fail in the beginning itself.
Yeah. Yes.
So that's why
So we are
government and
bringing them
the
in order to
donors
learn from
also
them, right?
they are they select the company, not company, the people who they are hiring. They choose the big brand from there, and then only you select the company. This is the reason you are talking like that. I have worked with Usufda Minot. I know them. They are good people, but they are good for their works, for their ongoing works. But they are not good for the modern works. They have to learn, because in one project we already did with them in Jizak. We are doing. So we are training them also. That means new technology, whatever we are bringing, they should know how to run that. Yeah?
Yes.
Because tomorrow they have to operate and maintain. So this kind of things happens. So we should not be feeling some kind of uh, inferiority complex. There is nothing. Good things always come. We should learn. Like, for example, I tell you why China is so fast. China didn't have any fast train 15 years before. all the Japanese, European companies, French companies, and they forced them to construct all those engines, yeah, fast train engines in China itself. They take their technology. Now they are building themselves, and they have now prepared one train which can reach more than 600 kilometer per hour speed, which not Japan, no European company has made. So they have surpassed their capability by copying them.
Yes.
So this is what Uzbekistan also has to do. We
Yeah.
have to invite big brain and learn from them, and we should try to be champion in that things. That's what we have to do.
Great. I even had a professor who was also talking about the experience of Toyota in Japan. That engineers in Toyota were
Yeah.
bringing great cars from all over the world. They were putting those cars piece by piece in order to learn how those cars work. They copied the mechanism and they tried to just improve and improve and improve and improve. And right now they have one of the best engines. They have one of the best cars in the market. And so the final philosophy that the professor told us was that copy and improve, basically. So I guess this should be maybe the philosophy that we, the young people in Uzbekistan, should also follow, right? Learn from those from those companies that are coming. It's also good experience, right? So amazing, amazing. Um,
Yeah.
Going to another topic, when I was going through your article, I went through the recommendations that you were giving in that article, and one of them was regarding the data management. And in fact, the data management in water sector is remaining one of the big issues right now, because as far as I know, the water accounting in Uzbekistan still faces some problems because we still don't have water meters in some of our canals, and we don't always know, for example, how much water is passing through that canal or that drainage system. And however, you were mentioning that there were some improvements in all of the sectors following the water strategy 2030, and I was interested in your analysis. Do you see any changes, any improvements or progress in the water accountants or water data management in Uzbekistan? Because I think it's very crucial, since what we don't measure we cannot improve, right? So, is there any progress within your experience working in Uzbekistan in data management, collection, analysis?
Yeah. Uh, Thank you for another question. Yes, definitely you have pointed the right question actually. Yeah, what I would say, firstly, here also comes the same thing which I was talking before. Data management, when we say, it is not that Uzbekistan or Central Asia doesn't have any data management. They have. They already have data management. It's a long story. Since Soviet time, I can see they have all these kind of things. But the main question here is how we are implementing those data management. There is a big gap.
Mm.
What I see, because I have been working around Central Asia for last almost 2 decades. So what is my experience is they are doing this kind of data management, but that is not first thing. That is, question comes, why you do data management, right? How you are going to use them. So this part is actually lacking. Means they are managing data for the sake of management. Somebody is authorized, he is doing his job, there is data management, but nobody is asking his data. maybe after in 10 years time somebody comes and say, oh please, I need this data, maybe that time it will be used, right?
Yeah.
But otherwise it is just there. So this kind of management is happening. It has been happening here. But when it comes to modern world, we have to do this data management on minutes, hourly basis. We have to make this data so useful that it can be used on commercial, means you should have this kind of system in place in the country that that data should be utilized by concerning even farmers or concerning beneficiary or anybody. Yeah.
Yes.
He can buy the data or the way he can use. So this kind of platform, this kind of system should be there, but unfortunately it is not there. So this is the main reason, right? What happens, for instance, if we talk about the only in water supply, drinking water supply, there is some data management so that based on that, the people, beneficiaries are charged either on monthly basis or annual basis in Uzbekistan, right?
Yes.
Yeah, this is, but even then, if you go, they are just charging for annually fixed charge. There is no specific how much they consume and how much actually they should pay. There is no this kind of record.
Yes.
Yeah, this is also a problem. So now it is for household. Some if government say 200,000 soon you have to give, then every household is giving. Nobody knows which household how much they are using.
Yeah.
There is no such record. So yeah, we should if we go to European country or USA or Australia, it is not happening like that. I have in there when I was studying in UK. I was staying in one apartment which was close to my university. I had to pay those days, 30 years before, right? So I had to pay some money to get one key. I had to put that key in that water supply or electricity. And once the money finished, water supply also finished.
Yeah.
Or electricity also finished. I have to go and recharge and bring and put there. So this is how the system there operates, because their system is like that. They are monitoring how much I am using water or electricity or gas or whatever. It is all monitored.
Yeah.
So there is all this kind of companies are there who are doing this kind of thing, right?
Yes.
So kind of services we are talking about here in Uzbekistan or Central Asia, so that everything is measured and people can do their job or businesses or whatever. So that is the importance, that why we need to do data management properly to match with the current modern world.
Yes.
This is the main message. Yes. Yeah.
So, what I understood is that we do not really have the problem with data collection. We already have centers to collect data. We have the problem to with the demand of data. Like, even if we have that data, we do not really know, first of all, why we could need it and what would be the economical benefit of having that data and having analyzing that data. But for example, regarding the case of Usutaminot, I know that because they do not have those smart water meters installed in households right now, they have very big problems with loans because a lot of Uzbek families and some other private companies owe a big money to Usutaminot, and Usutaminot cannot simply cut the water, cut the access to water, because I think, as they were explaining it to me, if they, for example, in a multi-story apartment, if they cut the water, then they have to do it for the whole for the whole building, not just for one family. So that's why they cannot, for
Yeah.
example, bring back their income, right? So that could be really good incentive for Usu Tamino to have better data management. But also what I was thinking is Ministry of Water Resources, for example, or Ministry of Agriculture. As you said, right now we do not know how much each household uses water, but the percentage of of water that household use is only 5.1% of whole Uzbekistan's water. Around 90% is used by farmers, and we do not know how much each farmer uses water too, for example, right? And this could be this is this the same structure of problem, but with farmers it has bigger influence, bigger impact. And I was thinking that if we could measure how much each farmer uses water, then they could use it in they could save the water more, because now they already know how much they are using, right? So if they save more water, then I think it should save some money to ministries as well for the water transportation. Then I already see some economical benefit of having that data. Then what is the issue? Why aren't we measuring how much each farmer uses water in Uzbekistan? What is stopping us right now?
Mm. Yeah. Thank you again for this question. Yeah, I gave you the example for the household for the water supply. The same thing applies actually for irrigation also.
Yeah.
You are correctly saying 90 to 91% of the water withdrawal from Amudarya, Siddharya, Uzbekistan is using almost annually in average 50 to 51 kilometer cube per year water volume is being used. So this, and out of that 90 to 91% is being used for irrigation, because in Uzbekistan food protection is the main priority. So 90 to 91% goes for irrigation. This is fact. And now the question comes how it is being collected. As I told you, for water supply, it is based on the household. And for the irrigation,
Yes.
in practice, for 1,000 meter cube, they charge depending on the places. As I understood, when we were doing first time in Karkal, Pakistan, or somewhere, it was very less money, 10 sum or something.
Yes.
And now also it is not so high. It is something like that. Maybe 100, I'm not sure now, but maybe around like that. So, but that volume, what we told, who is going to measure that how much volume actually they are using? This is another problem. There is no any structure in the field to measure that volume.
Yeah.
So in Tanzania, as I wrote there in my article, government is trying to do that. Is yes, government is in some project trying to install some smart meter to measure the flow, how much volume of water is passing to, especially to the field outlet. And that field outlet means it is directly going to the farmer's field. So we can charge, okay, you have received this much volume of water. So it is recording there. So we were trying to connect with this SCADA system to the main control office, central office. But this kind of practices, it is not happening in whole project area. It is happening in the part of pilot area only.
Yes.
That is limited. And we had faced another issue here. The reality, it will run until the project is there. After the project, the experts which we have trained, he will look after another good job, and he run away. After once he run away in the project office, there is nobody to operate that system, and the system is lying here. So it is happening in reality. Okay. So it has happened already in two, three projects, which were partly done. So this is the issue. Government has to, that's why, plan a systematic modernization, starting from one patch of area, giving continuity, annually certain budget we should fix, so that we will try to make that a small portion to be modernized throughout in the project.
Mm-hmm.
Plus, we should expand project to project, connecting at the central and the Tashkent level. Yeah, coming from the project level. So this kind of mechanism has to be done, which is lacking now. That's why my article, I'm trying to say this message. We have to do, we should not concentrate one place, one donor came, gave, project finished, donor finished, and everything finished. The people also run away. There is no continuity. Right? So this is happening. So this is a big problem. Whole money what we have invested has no return. It is a big loss to the government, to the country, right? Ultimately to the people, because people, we are paying taxes for the government. So it is ultimately the people. It is a loss.
To every
So
citizen.
yeah. So this is the reason there should be a concrete program plan, so we can develop this. It is not that Uzbekistan doesn't have plan. They have very good plan in certain sector already. But in irrigation sector or water sector, because Uzbekistan water receives water of almost 80% from transboundary, from Tajikistan,
Kyrgyzstan.
not Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan and Afghanistan. It receives water from them. Uh, and this is the reason we were talking there. We are using 169% of the renewable water sources. Yeah? Because Uzbekistan doesn't have enough renewable sources. It depends on the transboundary water.
Yeah.
That is why it's going up 169%. It's huge. So we are heavily relying on other countries. So our relationship with those countries should be very smooth, very friendly, very nice, so that they will not stop water in
Yes,
future.
yes, yes, yes.
Yeah, or something. Yeah. So yeah, that is also the thing.
I think Uzbekistan is already realizing how sophisticated the water diplomacy should be, because they currently even launched a master's program that will be teaching specifically water diplomats, so water ambassadors, right, that will be solving these transboundary issues that might occur in the future or that are present right now. So I think yes, we are realizing that we have to be really really careful in this sphere. Amazing. So another topic that was really interesting to me in your article was groundwater. So you have touched that right now our surface waters are decreasing due to climate change and also due to other construction works in our neighboring countries. They are also withdrawing their own share that they have right for, and so the water that comes to Uzbekistan is decreasing from year to year, and our saving account, right, something that we can always rely upon is our groundwater. And as far as I know, also as was described in your article, is that we're using it, well, to put it frankly, mostly chaotically and in an unregulated way, right? I even have my own relatives. I come from Kashkadarya. This is like the lower part of Uzbekistan, and there they say that we just pay a certain amount of money to some engineering small company. They come, they drill a well, and then we use that water, and that's it. So and it's being done quite without no monitoring from the government. So or with some but limited. Yes, I also don't know, but I was thinking of what could be the detrimental effects of that. Usually, if we would be a country that is located near to the ocean, then saltwater intrusion might be one of the problems, right? But we're not located near to the ocean. So the other problem could be that basically we will run out of groundwater resources. However, it's also quite unlikely to me. Why? Because we are spreading the water of Amudarya and Sirdarya all over the space, all over the place of Uzbekistan. We are watering our lands basically with that with that traditional way of when we just let the water pass through. So and I think there is a huge amount of infiltration happening all over the Uzbekistan. And all that infiltration is bad, but one of the good sides is that the whole water should end up somewhere in the ground in one place, which could be the groundwater aquifers. So, and I was thinking that even if we use a lot of water, it should be replenished because of the way we irrigate our lands. So mm, is my theory correct, or is should we still be afraid of using too much of groundwater? For some reason I cannot hear you.
Sorry, yeah, it was mute.
Yes,
Sorry.
yes, yes,
Yeah, now you can hear me, right?
yes, yes,
Yeah. Actually, this groundwater problem, when you said, and when I wrote in the article, actually, let me tell you, before this article, I published another article before. That is conjunctive water management. The whole world global should direct towards the conjunctive water management rather than just single either surface water management or groundwater management. Because until now, all the countries, not only Uzbekistan, they were only doing one system, right? Either surface water where there is dam or barrage where or any irrigation system or kind of system, supply system, or groundwater they are doing separately. Even the department is different.
yes,
Groundwater department is different, irrigation department is different, right? This kind of situation until now it is happening in most of the countries, but because of this climate change, it has first thing it has increased the temperature. Yeah, because of that increase in temperature, all the rainfall pattern has changed, and now it is happening that if you are talking about the sources for Uzbekistan, Tian Shan and Pamir and Tian Shan is the main sources.
yes,
Its snow area is melting, becoming less.
yeah,
Yeah.
yes,
Because of that, what is happening? There is a seasonal flow disturbance
yes,
changes. And this I'm talking about not only here, I'm giving example of Uzbekistan, but this is happening worldwide,
yeah,
everywhere.
yeah,
It is not the problem of Uzbekistan, it is the problem of the world now. Everywhere, same situation, right? So, but I'm giving one example because of that shrinking of snow melt area, it is changing all the water flow, seasonal flow, anything changing. And usually, naturally, the flood discharge, flood high level were coming, let us say, in June, but now it is coming in March, April also,
yes,
shifting to the
yes,
left, means earlier it is coming. This is all happening. It is not in our hand. Naturally, it is happening. Nobody can stop it, right? So we should be prepare ourselves to face it. How we face it, right? So now the problem is our crop which we are growing, they need more water in June, but more water in coming in March, April, what we do that water, it is just going waste.
Yes. Yes.
So this is the issue here. So that's why we should have a careful planning how we use that water in such a way that we can reuse it. What is happening now, because of this climate change, the seasonal water availability has changed much.
Yes.
There is more water stress period we have to face. So when there is no flow in river, then naturally we have to go to groundwater.
Yes.
We have to extract the groundwater. Our action is becoming reactive. Just we need water, now we come out and irrigate. Right? So when we do that, the groundwater table, maybe it was, let us say, 100 meter here, but it went down to 50 meter. There is no water. We have to use more resources, cost to reach that down groundwater, and which is diminishing. At one day it will finish, right? So how we can make it sustainable? That is what we have to think about. So it should be not a reactive kind of use. It should be adaptive use. Means we should plan to recharge that groundwater. Yeah, we should use that wet years or wet time when there is more flood coming. We should divert that to buffer reservoirs or some to build, so that we will refill the groundwater and bring back the water table again to 100.
Yes.
So if we continuously do that, we are sustainable. We will not have to face any problem. So that is the message this article is trying to give.
In terms of groundwater recharging, uh,
Mhm.
the very first guest on this podcast, I don't know whether you know her, it is Kurala Yahyayeva. She was also very much active during construction of the dam between North and South Aral Sea. So she had a very interesting idea regarding that groundwater sources. She said that we should start recharging the groundwater sources artificially. Like right now, groundwater sources are being supplied basically by nature, right? The water, the rainwater, the river water itself flows naturally. But what we should do is we should now recharge them artificially. For example, so she's from Kazakhstan, so she was giving examples of cities in Kazakhstan. She was saying in Almaty and Astana during winter, we take a lot of snow from the city and we transport it out of the city to God knows where. And we put it and then it just melts chaotically. We don't even know where that runoff goes. But for example, she says if we could find such a place where we know that the meltdown would go to some groundwater aquifer, then we could collect all the snow there and that snow could end up in the groundwater and then we could use that snow when we need. This is one example. Another example is, for example, the state of California. I have been reading that there was one wastewater treatment plant that was using the treated wastewater in order to refill the groundwater aquifer, and it has been doing it, if I'm not mistaken, since 70s, since 1970s. And that seems to me a very good idea as well. Of course, depending on the quality of that wastewater. And or another example of Israeli, they are also using their treated wastewater in, and they are putting it under the ground, treating it, and then using it for irrigation throughout the year, right? And in that way, they're growing their tomatoes, being the top ones. I was thinking, can we use the same strategy in Uzbekistan, for example? Recharging our groundwater on our own using the wastewater or the rainfall or some other sources. What do you think on that?
Yeah. Groundwater, when you are saying, let me tell you something, because we were talking just on surface. If you see the groundwater use in Uzbekistan, I have some because I exactly forgot now how many numbers, but it is something because the shallow groundwater table, like up to 40-50 meter, the farmers are digging almost everywhere where the farmers have some money. If he is in need, they are doing. Yeah. Nowadays, government has already brought water code and so many other codes is in implementation. And the concerning ministry, even the Ministry of Water Resources, where they are already doing, they now they have the concerning farmers or people have to take permission from them to install this kind of groundwater. So it is ongoing process. Government is implementing, already doing. Uh, Coming to the major groundwater area, like there is so many transboundary groundwater system. Like in case of Sirdaria, it has linked with the Kyrgyzstan, Tajikistan. There are pocket of groundwater reservoir which can be utilized during the emergency time, right? So for that, there should be mutual coordination between those countries, and Uzbekistan has to do. Similarly, there is one very good big groundwater aquifer, pre-Tashkent, which is located nearly near to Tashkent, but it is going and mixing with Kazakhstan also. Kazakh in northern part. So it's a big aquifer, and right now so many companies are withdrawing water, and it's being used for water. Maybe you are drinking so many mineral water. They are all mostly coming from this Pritaskin aquifer. So there are pockets of groundwater which government can think of what you are talking. In the meantime, question comes how to recharge them. You were talking about the recharging of them, right? So actually, one way, when I was doing one project in India, you can imagine how big project that was, because that project area is 1.1 million hectare, whereas Uzbekistan has total irrigation area is 4.3 million hectare.
Yes.
And that single project in Uttar Pradesh, where I was working, it was a World Bank funded project. 1.1 million hectare, only single project.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So what we were doing, there also people were using because water. We were bringing water from the Ganga. Have you heard of Ganga River?
Yes, yes. That
Yes,
famous
yes,
Ganga
River
River.
Ganga.
Yeah, in all
So
of the Indian
there
movies, we
we
have
were
Ganga
bringing
River.
water, and then the irrigation was being done even then, because there was uncertainty of water, because the Ganga River is used in upstream also by many. There are other states, they are also using. So the water, by the time it comes to our, what was the barrage name? I forgot now, right now. Uh, I don't remember this, what is that. But I know that, anyway, it's okay. So they were receiving less water in most of the time. So farmers were doing same groundwater, means shallow groundwater, 40-50 meter, they were doing and irrigating. So the question here is, there it is not so saline water. In our case, in Uzbekistan, we have a problem of salinity of the groundwater also. This problem is coming because we are using high chemicals here.
Yeah.
And those chemicals, once it goes down, it gets in the water, it is lying there, it comes off with the secondary salinization up in the top level. When it is irrigated through, when the groundwater rises, it comes up and it makes the soil also more saline, not only the water. So these are problems which we have to do. And here in Uzbekistan, Saneri has developed leaching requirement, how much water to give for leaching, and this is how we are dealing it separately.
Yes.
But we are not using like gypsum and other material to